So here's our project. In this video, I'm going to spray paint 2 sections of this railing. Now, it hasn't been painted in over 15 years, and it's got lots of loose paint and flaky, powdery rust. Today, I'm going to be using a 4-step process to paint these railings. Step 1 will be to prep, which means we're going to remove all the loose rust and loose paint and etc. Second, we're going to clean it. Then we're going to use our primer and prime it. And finally, we're going to apply 2 top coats. Now I'm going to show you the paints we're using, but as for the rest of the materials, I'm going to show you those as we go along. So here's the paint we're using. This is Rust-Oleum Rusty Metal Primer, and we have Rust-Oleum Gloss Black Top Coat. I also have extra cans here. The way I painted it, I needed some touch-up paint. I'm not sure that you will or not. These paints are in Rust-Oleum's Stops Rust series of paints, and these contain rust inhibitors. The primer in particular has a message here that you can paint it directly over heavily rusted metal. So more on that later. These are oil-based paints, so they require paint thinner cleanup. Depending on how you do your fence, if you don't have touch-up paints involved, you may not even need this because you'll just throw your cans away. Now, the first thing you're going to have to do, whether you spray paint or brush paint, is to clean and prep your railing. My first step will be to remove the loose rust and paint. And here I'm using a handheld wire brush with a metal scraper attached to the back, now this is pretty effective, but it's also time-consuming and slow. It's important to remember that we do not have to remove all the rust. We don't have to take this down to bare metal, okay? The Rusty Metal Primer we're using is designed to be painted directly over rust, as you can see on the can. Now they're talking about stable rust, not loose, flaky, or powdery rust. That will have to be removed by this process. Now, much faster and just as effective is using your power drill or cordless drill and specialty wire brush attachments like I'm using here. I purchased a set of these, and they come in different shapes and sizes to match your situation. I'll put a paid link in the video description for these and also for some of the other products that I'm using in this video. If you have really heavy or pitted rust, you may want to use an electric grinder like I'm doing here. This will knock it off even faster than that wire brush will. Now we need to clean because our new primer will not adhere well to loose rust, paint, or dirty surfaces. A pressure washer like this one is ideal for this purpose. It's fast, it's very effective, but if you don't have a pressure washer, you can always do it the old-fashioned way. You can use some household cleaner like Crud Cutter or a spick and span, a rag, scrub it good, and then rinse thoroughly, and you'll be ready to paint. Before I start painting, I'm going to cover everything that I don't want paint on with cardboard, or you could use newspaper, plastic, whatever. I'm also going to tape it in place and cut it to fit. And once this is done, we'll start with our primer coat. So we're going to start our painting process with the Rusty Metal Primer. Now be aware that you're going to need to shake the can for about a minute. There's an agitator ball inside, and you should hear it rattling. I'm going to start with the front side of the railing, and you'll notice behind it that wall of cardboard. And I had some really tall, long pieces of cardboard. I just propped them up against lawn chairs and put them close to the rail. That way the overspray will absorb into the paper and not onto the brick or the floor. Now you can practice with this a little bit yourself, but I normally hold the can about 10, 12 inches away from the fence as I spray. And remember, if you hold it too close or hover over the railing in one place for too long, you're going to get runs. So be sure to keep an old rag handy. If you hold the spray can too far away, then it's going to be too thin and will probably look spotty. So practice a little bit and get it right before you try to do the whole thing. The spray can is particularly effective on these decorations. These are hard to paint. And fortunately, with this type of spray paint, you can actually hold the can upside down and it'll still spray. I don't know if they all do that or not, but this really worked. Next, I took down my cardboard wall. and I painted the back side using the same procedure as the front. Now, before you take down all your cardboard, look at the railing closely and make sure you didn't miss any spots. Much easier to touch those up now than later. Now we're going to let the railing dry for about 24 hours and then we're going to top coat it. Now, one thing I didn't paint was the brackets that hold the railing to the square brick post. Now, when I remove the cardboard, I'm going to use a detail brush and carefully paint those, taking care not to get it on the brick. Now, both the primer and the gloss paint are available in smaller 8-ounce cans for smaller projects, of course. So now we're going to put all the cardboard barriers back up. Extra work, of course, but we need to do that before we spray on the top coat. And the technique here is exactly the same as using the primer spray paint. And of course, our goal is after we spray paint this coat that we will have absolutely no red primer showing. Now, I did have a lizard problem. This little guy was on the fence and wouldn't move. I had to shoo him and shoo him and shoo him. Finally got him to scoot down the fence, and he got about halfway down and just stopped. And then when I finally got down there, he was still there, and I had to shoo him off again. I had to double check to make sure I didn't have lizard prints in my paint. So again, we let it dry 24 hours, remove the barricades, and then do some touch-up painting, particularly the brackets that join the wall. Now, in my case, I had to both primer and top coat the bottom of this rail. And unfortunately, I couldn't get here with my spray can or my brush. Now, I was able to take my 1-inch sponge brush, put plenty of paint on it, and paint this mainly by just patting it on and smoothing it out. So we're going to let it dry, and now here's what it looks like the next day. Pretty good, huh? But after inspection, I've still got a spot or two that I need to touch up. But it'll be even better when we put a second top coat on. That will give you more years of life and a more even coat. However, I'm not going to make you watch me do that. Now, apart from the tedium of getting ready to paint, I really enjoyed this spray painting process. This was very fast. And I even found that as opposed to brush painting, where I always have a bunch of little spots that I miss, I got much better coverage with this. So I had much less touch-up to do later. But I need to qualify that statement. I'm not saying that somehow spray painting is better than brush painting. It's just the opposite. In general, brush painting will give you a thicker, heavier coat of paint than spray painting. But my real problem here is if you're painting more than a small project, this can get very expensive. These cans are about $8 each. For these 2 sections or 14-foot of railing, I use 6 cans to get the 3 coats. That's about $50 or about $3.50 a foot. Okay, so if you're painting a lot of railing, you may want to consider this. I mean, you could brush and roller paint it, and if you have spray painting equipment available to you, that's really going to be the way to go. Now, the next few sections, I'm going to brush paint and roller paint. I'll be doing a video on that also, which will probably come out in spring of this coming year. You may want to go below and subscribe and click that notification icon so we can alert you when that video is available. So folks, that's going to do it for today. Thank you for watching, and God bless you and your family.